the good things they've done. They went from, the accounting every half hour to accounting every hour, which amounts to the same total at the end of the day. But it just it's allowing them to only have to do it once an hour so they could get everything done and caught up. Hello, Rio.
Rio, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now have you taken out any money at all, Michael?
I
No, I haven't, but by tomorrow I think I will be able to. So I'll know more then.
The reason I asked is I requested $5 today, and they said it took 48 hours.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I think
reasonable.
they can take anywhere from I think they said 12 to 48 hours to process a payment.
That's
Yeah,
that's
and you can take
reasonable.
and you can take anything from $5
So
up
750.
to 750 per
Wow,
day
that's good.
Well, we're gonna.
if you
I
have that much.
I can't take nothing
why is that real?
because I forgot my security answer question and support has yet to get back to me on how to change it.
Okay,
Yeah.
they didn't. You know what? They sent me when I first signed up. They sent me a email that had all that information in it. Did
Yeah.
did they
I
not send you one?
I gotta backtrack and check.
It would be probably worth the effort.
Yeah, because I got an email and it's got all the information I need right on there.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I do. I have my little folders for different things that I do.
Okay. So that would be back in September. Let me go back
Yeah.
September. Let's see. I'm actually in my Gmail right now. Let me go back September and check. September 20.
Honey, can you pull your door over if you're going to leave that light on? I'm turning it off. Oh,
Okay.
So anyway, by Friday or sooner,
thank you.
I'm expecting to see at least $5 in my PayPal account.
Well, I'm
Good.
I'm expecting to see that much in my cash account by uh tomorrow. That's I'm estimating just based on what it's been doing the last few days.
Mm.
And when it does, I'm going to attempt to draw it out and see if they actually pay me.
Yeah,
Be be
that's
nice to get paid.
yeah, that's what I did. Because I'm up there where, like you, I do the math.
Hmm.
Every day I buy 3 shares. Every 3 days I can request five to be sent to my PayPal. As of right now.
That's about to the situation I should be in by tomorrow. At least that's the way I'm estimating from just looking at the way it's been going the last few days.
Yeah, because I found out that your repurchase and your cash value, as you're moving up the amount of shares you have, that keeps increasing right along
Ab-
the road.
Absolutely. That's my reason for taking the repurchase fund that they created and buying as many shares as I can every time it gets to be, well, I check it at least twice a day. Probably gonna move to three times a day if if as it's growing here.
Yeah,
It doesn't have my withdrawal password. It just has my password to log in.
hmm.
But it didn't have your secret question or whatever it
No,
was.
no, don't my secret question answer.
And you didn't write it down.
I think I did, but I'm in Abaco and that's in Nassau.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I write everything down. Like in my case, I remember one day I was looking for a particular password, and I ended up sitting here at this stupid desk for almost 2 hours before I finally found it. But I found it. But I had to go through a lot of stuff to get there.
I remember getting the email, but I don't remember it saying, they said I had to pick a password, but they didn't tell me anything.
We picked the password. We also picked the a secret question.
No, I
Yeah,
meant
you
the
had
secret question.
yeah,
Yeah.
you had to pick a secret question.
Yeah, that's what I don't have. I don't have the secret question.
I'm gonna have to go back through my email too if I ever want to take money out.
Probably
Yeah,
be a
well,
probably be a good thing to start thinking about and looking for. Bless you.
Sorry.
God
yeah, and
bless.
I'm thinking by Thursday I can probably let you guys know whether I got $5.
Yeah.
We'll be looking forward to it. We'll be looking forward to that information.
Reverend Dave called me.
Yeah.
He's in South Carolina and he
Okay.
wants me to get a breakfast. So I had to call Doug because Doug's got a gig tonight. That means he'll be out till at least 2 o'clock in the morning. So I said, "Do you want to get up for breakfast in the morning?" What for? Why would I ever do that?
What kind of gig does he do? Does he play an instrument or
He's a drummer.
a
He's a
drummer?
drummer.
Ah,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
He's
he's
a
filling
drummer.
in for, no, tonight's his regular thing. Yeah. Tuesday nights he has a gig here locally.
Oh, cool.
I didn't tell him I used to play drums in a band back when I was in college. That was more years than we're going to admit to. So
Yeah, you're like me. When I was back in about 12 years old, I used to play an accordion, and
Wow.
I would go to, uh, believe it or not, at 12 years old, I would go to senior centers
Oh, that's
and
nice.
play for the old folks,
That's oh, that's great.
because I figured, well, I'm not that good, and they probably won't know the difference.
Yeah. And they
Because they
loved it.
always, yeah, they loved every minute of it. They were just happy that I was there, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
And I did that for, I guess, about, oh, not quite a year, maybe 10 months, something like that. And then we happened to move, and I never got back to doing it.
Mm.
And then a few years later, I got interested in girls, and the accordion went to hell.
Good play accordion.
well,
You know how that is, right?
I played drums in a traveling dance band when I was in college. I sang
Oh, what
bass.
fun.
I sang bass in a traveling choir when I was in college at the same time. So I was constantly going somewhere, performing somewhere,
Mhm. Great.
until they started asking me to sing solo, and that solo that they couldn't hear me is what they were talking about. So
No thanks. Right, Mike. So what's happening with Four Corners? How are we going to make the money?
we're gonna make some money by putting some people into business. So we're sharing, helping some other people make some money. You know, the more people you help make money, the more money you're gonna make.
Yeah,
I got
advertise, advertise, advertise.
I got to step up
Uh,
my ad.
I'm not real big on that, Robert. I'm not real big on that. Yeah, you share. You got to share with people. I'm not just throwing out blanket advertising out there to total strangers. I ain't sure that's going to get you where you want to go. Uh,
Yeah, my problem though, I live in a small town, and I
it
only
don't,
get to Elko once or twice a month. So you know, I don't.
how many people you need to share with and bring into the business, Four Corners business, if you want to be successful.
Yeah, about 6,000.
Wrong,
Four.
wrong.
Oh, 4,000.
Oh,
Okay.
For people.
Oh, four
oh,
people. I got four people.
There's a catch to that now. There is a catch to
Ain't
it.
ain't
No,
done nothing. And
you need four people that will duplicate what you're doing.
right. And I've emailed them. And
So be real careful about the four people that you pick, and make sure you're picking people that are like you, people that will
right.
duplicate what you do, people that will be willing to share and open your mouth too. If you go out and just pick four people at random, because while I think they need help and this business would really help them, they ain't gonna do a thing. They're gonna sit there and wait for you to help them and wait for you to do it for them, and guess what? It ain't gonna grow. It
I
just,
can
I
I can relate to that.
I'm a good Southern boy, y'all know that. That's reason for my language, but it ain't gonna grow.
it ain't
It
gonna.
ain't gonna grow.
But
And I agree.
if you are careful who you pick and you personally build a relationship with people and you pick those people, they will go out and find four people themselves. And that's all they have to do. But they have to do the same thing. They have to pick those four people, have to be somebody that'll duplicate too.
Right.
And they learn to duplicate by bringing them back into things like this call right here, tying them back into the system. Get them over to the blog site so they can see all the videos and everything like that, all the calls and goes on the hangouts we've had. Tie them back into the group so that they know, hey, we all good guys and gals
And gals,
and
yes.
gals, and we're all here to not only succeed ourselves, but we're all here to help them succeed. But that's all it takes is four people. So, just going out here and say, well, wow, I'm gonna put an ad on the safe list and I'm gonna advertise to 10 million people this week. And you're gonna have 10 million people that probably ain't even gonna look at your ad to start with. And,
Yep.
number number two, the ones that do are not gonna do anything. So you pretty much wasted your time. What you got to do is find four people that you can build a relationship with that four people that will duplicate and will go out there and put forth that effort. I can tell you, Sandy's one. Me and Sandy have been together for years now. It's gone along a long time and different things, and we built a relationship. Reverend Dave, we built that relationship, and
Yep.
we've been together. Me and Reverend Dave have been together since 2008, 2009, somewhere right along in there, you know, and
Wow.
and we've been through some things that worked pretty good, and we've been through some things that didn't work pretty good.
Things that were stinkers.
Yeah, it happens. And it's going to continue to happen. But that is the nature of network marketing. So many people think that, and there's so many people out there on the internet that are advertising that way that they think that it's just gonna, they're gonna sign the dotted line today, and tomorrow they're gonna be rich and taking a wheelbarrow to the bank. Uh,
That ain't gonna happen.
well, could happen.
Well,
It could happen. It's entirely possible, but it's not going to happen unless you find those four people that will do what you will do, that will duplicate what you are.
See,
So
see,
that's the thing to do is go out there and look for people like you.
see. The thing
Yep.
about this, right? The thing about this,
thank you
Yeah.
all. I gotta go. I've
the
got a
human.
meeting I gotta go to.
Linda, we're so glad you could join us here tonight. Now, I am
Okay.
recording this right this moment, so I'm gonna post
Okay.
what I get of it up somewhere.
Bye
See,
bye.
Bye
Good
see. The
bye.
night.
thing, the
Have a
thing
good night,
about it
Linda.
is, hey guys.
Go ahead, Real.
Yeah, the thing about it is, as simple or as idiotic it may sound or seem, the human mind is trained to complicate the hell out of the simplest amount of things.
You're absolutely
Because
right.
because why? Because why? We often feel the need to know the answer to any and everything. Okay?
You're
Now don't get me
right.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of things that there is the answer for everything, and then there are some things that there is no answer for. Either you're gonna do it or you're not. Okay? And I mean, Four Corners is pretty much, once you get into it, it's self-explanatory. You do a little bit of reading and so forth. It shows and teaches you everything. But then, because of the little skepticism and stuff and everything that's bred in us from birth, it's like, okay, do I want a chance risking 18 bucks? You know, like really? But you're gonna go down to the liquor store and buy a 40
You're
ounce of vodka that's gonna cost you 25 bucks,
you're right.
you know? And it's all of these little things, okay? All these little things that plays on people's mind and so forth and everything. They're like, oh, well, I don't think that's a good idea, or oh, well, what happens if this, and oh, what happens if that? And then what they don't do is they don't sit back and realize or take into account, well, if I don't take some step or some action, what are the chances of me obtaining that on my current journey? Okay? And don't get me wrong, you have some people that they are content making money for other people. That's what they were born to do.
You're right.
Okay? They were born to be paid slaves. Okay, because that's all it is. That's all it is. You know, I
You're right.
mean,
You're right. We got to have those. As
yeah,
society
yeah,
has to have those people.
yeah, yeah. You have to. Okay,
But
it's like
that's
it's
not the four people we're looking for, though.
right. You know, but it's no different than marriage. Marriage is not for everybody. Not everybody's supposed to get married. Okay,
You're
so
right
not
there.
everybody is supposed to join Four Corners, but then the question you should ask yourself as a human being is, do I want more? And if you could answer that in a simple yes or no form, and your answer is yes, then you would capitalize on any opportunity that comes your way, whether you get stung by it or not. Because
Hmm.
one day out of seven, something is going to break for you
You're right.
once you keep
Yep.
trying. Yeah, you might lose $18 here at a deal, you might lose $200 there at a deal, whatever, so forth. But you do not fail until you keep trying. And people do not take that into consideration, okay? Because even if you're taking the safe road, okay, you're taking the safe road, so forth and
Hmm.
everything, and you're saying, oh, well, I'm gonna put my money in the savings, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that, make sure this is there, make sure that that is there, and then tomorrow you're dead.
Yep.
Hmm. What about our 401ks back in 2008?
Let's
That was
don't
a safe
let's
road.
don't talk about that.
It went right down the tubes. That was a safe
I
Uh,
road.
would say I wouldn't know about no 411k and so forth and crap living here in the
that
Bahamas.
that was over half of my retirement fund
Yeah,
Okay,
that went
but
away.
yeah,
That
yeah,
it's
went
still
away.
it
Just
still went through
went
but
my.
away.
yeah,
Yes.
and um, I mean, it's just all these little things that plays on people's mind. But you do have the us, the we, those people that
You're
are
right.
bold and dare to be different and do not want to be stuck in the mundane of what things are. Because why? Not only do we want change for ourselves, but we want change for the world. And we know that these things takes a little more than the norm to get done.
You're
Okay?
right.
And do not get me wrong, you have a lot of people that want to, that want to. But between being skeptical or scared or frightened or whatever, that I guess faith or courage what it would take to make that step, they have not harnessed that as yet.
Want
And
to,
some of them never will.
want to, want to do, and will do are
It's two different things. Yeah,
two
it's two
different
different things.
things. And
You see?
99% of the case, that's entirely different. But that 1%, that's what we need. And
Yeah,
believe me, if you take 1% of 7 billion people, 8 billion people, how many people are on the face of this earth? If you take 1% of those, that's enough for go all share, for all of us to share and go all the way around. But
yeah.
we need to find that 1%.
Okay. Because like right now, this guy here in the Bahamas, he actually started a site that's similar to MPA, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's an advertising site. Now the difference is it's a $25 monthly fee. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but what he did with it, he also implicated a force matrix system like Four Corners. But only thing is, as opposed to finding five or four or whatever people, you don't have to find two. Those two only have to find two, and so forth. And then the good thing about it is it's on a 210.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I know
so
exactly what you're talking about.
right. So to reach its maximum, you only need 1,000 plus people. That pays with a smaller increment, but at the same time, if you reach that level, $13,000 a
It's
month, that's
$13,000. You're right.
okay. A month, that's quite a
Mm-hmm.
bit. Some people don't make that in a year, especially here.
Some people don't make that in a lifetime.
Okay,
You know.
you
Not on
see.
the internet.
So
That's
right.
Well,
So
whether they're out working for the man or whatever, some people don't make that in a lifetime. You're right. That's
right.
big,
Right.
big, big money. Even though it may sound like little money to some of the other things we've heard about, but
Right.
it's
Because I think when you hit about level 6, 7, you're like 2, 3 grand in already, something like
hmm
that. If I could remember. But my thing about it is, I mean, I looked at it. I haven't really got into studying it yet. I just because one brought me onto it, and he was breaking it down to me. But so far, it seems pretty good. I mean, especially for Bohemians, because we can advertise not only online businesses, but you may have a little store or something or whatever the case may
Mm-hmm.
be, and you can advertise it on there and
Brick
help
and
people
mortar as
actually
well. Yeah.
know, yeah, know about your store. You see what I'm saying? So that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It's level seven pays out um, collectively 1,700 a month. Level 8 pays out 3,400 a month. Level 9 pays out 6,000, almost 7,000 a month. And level 10 pays out over 13, almost
13.
$14,000 a month. Okay? Which isn't bad.
You're
You
right.
see?
It's
And
not.
you only gotta find two people. And like I say, it's a force matrix. So, somebody find three people, that third person's gonna end up under somebody.
That's that's
You
that's
see?
the that's the whole key. In that you only instead of four, you only need two.
Yeah,
With
two.
Skyforp, Sandy was in Skyforp with me. With Skyforp, all you need is two people. That's a 2 by 14 matrix, but
Yeah.
and it also has the matching pay and things like that. With you sponsor two people and build a 2 by 14 matrix, you're looking at over $20,000 a month.
Mhm.
There's a but you'd be surprised how hard it is for somebody to
Yeah.
find two people. And the biggest problem is they can't find them because they think they got to go out and find 100 people or 150 or 1,000 people themselves, and they don't. But what you need to do is be able to find two people and then teach that two people. Four corners, we need four people, but we need to teach those four people to find four people. And if they're not going to go out and find four people, we need to look for more.
Yep.
You know,
And the thing about it is, it's like, but with my country in particular, saturation is a possibility. You know,
that's why you need to reach out outside the Bahamas. You need to reach
yeah,
out
yeah,
outside.
yeah,
We need
yeah.
to reach outside the states. Saturation's a possibility in the states.
But don't get me wrong.
Not as bad as the Bahamas, probably, but
I speak to people in Nigeria, Philippines, Canada,
we got
Australia, England. I mean, I talk to people near and far, and some have interest, some don't have interest, and so forth. I mean, you're gonna find that, but at the same time, it's like I really don't think people find their own answer. What they do is they go by something they hear. Oh, well, I hear those things are schemes, or I hear they're scams, or oh, they're a pyramid, or oh, they're this, and they don't do an ounce of research to say, well, you know what? Yeah, because I mean, okay, let's think about like this, right? Let's just say that I got off to a real good start in Four Corners, okay? But you're a friend of mine, and I know, well, you haven't found four people or whatever, sort of like that. But then, like I said, I got off to a good start, so I'm making a handsome amount of money. Why is it I can't say, okay, you know what? Do you know 20 people? Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to purchase $10,000 worth of products with your back office. I don't need it, but I'm going to purchase it. That put $10,000 in your pocket. What I need you to do is take 3,000 of that and sponsor those 20 people to the highest level that $3,000 could go. Okay? But now you
mm-hmm.
still have $7,000 to pocket. You see?
Yep.
And believe it or not, if those who are successful in Four Corners right now were to take that approach to the people in their matrix, it would expand beyond your wildest dreams. Because there are a lot of people who still want to get in, but they don't want to spend their money to do it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but the only problem is people that don't want to spend their money to do it also don't want to do it. They want to
Well,
be
no,
there.
no,
They want
no.
the rewards, but they don't
Believe it,
want to. They don't want
believe it or
to
not, believe it or
work.
not, I have this one particular friend. He wants to get in, but not on his own stroke. And but he has already gathered about 10 people. He already told them about it and advertised it and everything.
Hmm.
Because I told him I'm gonna make sure I put him in. Okay, but if I put you in, you're gonna have to do the work. He already done X amount of work, and he still is telling people about it and so forth and everything as if he's in it already. So you do have people that would do the work if they get in. They just don't want to put their info out there, so to speak, or they don't want it to come out of their pocket. You see what I'm saying? And as much as I understand, it's still, it's mind to me because it's like, but I've showed you that there's no risk in doing it yourself. So, but
Yeah.
hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. You know,
So,
the thing to do is show them where if they do put their $18 in, and then they have 10 people already lined up, and they show where they bring those 10 people in that will put their $18 in, and you can show you where they've already, the original fellow's already made a profit, turned a profit that he's put money back in his pocket. So,
yep,
it's that simple. He really, if he's got that many people that he's talked to that will do what he should do and what they should do, then he's got no risk whatsoever there. That money's good as in his pocket, but it won't be in his pocket until he takes that first step.
yeah.
He's got to commit. He's got to commit something.
I think I can get him though. I think I can get him to commit. He'll come through.
My advice comes from 43 years in this business. Uh, my advice is to make him have some form of commitment. And that commitment's at $18. If he
Yeah,
if he if he's not going to do that, nobody else. The problem is you'll be surprised how well his network will duplicate. If he don't do it, they won't do it either. It's that simple. That duplicating in that manner, network marketing is famous for duplicating. I mean, it duplicates. But what you want is people that will commit and find people that will duplicate what he did by committing.
yeah,
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 it's kind of like with MPA, and I know where Mike's coming from because what I do with MPA, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, I guess about six people right at the moment. And every day when I see them, all I do is say, "Well, I got 107 shares. I got
Mhm.
109 shares. I got 111 shares." Well, like one guy finally said, "What the hell you got shares in?" I said, "Well, if
That's
you're
when you need to
interested."
start sharing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. There you go. Then I say, "Well, we'll get together and we'll talk about it." Okay, because whatever it is, I want to know a little bit more. And I think that's part of the trick is to
Mhm.
the old cliche when you go fishing, you can fish all day with a hook in the water, but if you ain't got a worm, you ain't gonna get no fish.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You got to have some bait of some kind.
mm,
Yeah.
And I think I've learned from experience. I can remember, well, many years ago, but when I first got an Amway, I used to I knew that plan upside down, forward, backwards, and that's exactly what I did. Everybody I talked to, I told them the whole plan, upside, forward, backwards, and I finally learned through a few people.
That's the wrong way to do
I
it.
Yeah, I told them. I said, "Hey, how would you like to make a couple $100 a month?" Oh, well, how do I do that? And I'd show them Plan A that took you up to $200, and I didn't
Yeah.
show them another thing. And I said, "Does that seem to interest you?" And they say, "Well, yeah, I think I can do that." So I'd sign them up. And then a few months later, I said, "You could get a raise if you wanted,"
Mhm.
and then raise it up again. And I still believe that part of the cliche, at least on the internet, I see it all the time, and I know all of us do. Sometimes I even get sick watching it. I'll make a $5,000 today within the next 24 hours. Well, you drop dead if you're gonna make 5,000 in one day. It's gonna be pretty difficult. You know what I'm saying?
Can be done,
But
but not likely.
yeah, it
yeah.
can
See,
be
see,
done.
see. Making it in one day and getting it the same day is two different things.
Well, that's very true too. But at least if I can show a person how to make a couple $100 and they say that's pretty damn cool, then a little bit later I said, "Have you ever thought about making a little more with this program?"
Mhm.
Well, I don't know. I didn't know I could. Well, yeah, let me show you. And then you go to step two. And they said, "Wow, why didn't you show me that in the beginning?" Well, if I had it, you probably wouldn't have
You
signed
wouldn't have
up.
done it.
That's right.
Right.
he wouldn't have done it.
I
See,
say,
and that's why, like Mike says, with $18 a pot to piss in. I mean, I can't believe some of the looks I get from somebody who says, "Well, it only cost $18," and they act like $18 was 18,000. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they say, "Well, how am I going to make money with $18? That's impossible." See, that gets back to that unbelievability.
Mhm.
You're right, Robert. They think it's 18,000, but what happens is then they turn around that same night and order them a large pizza and a Coke,
Yeah,
and
it
it
costs them 25 or thirty
costs them
dollars to.
25, 30, and they don't, they don't make a dime off of that,
Well, what about
and it's
Station
gone.
Matrix?
What's that,
Station
Sandy?
Matrix was only $1.75, and people acted like it was
You're
$100.
right. You're right. You
Yeah,
you, you thought you was taking their life savings for instead of $1.75.
Yeah.
and to me that boils down to two things. And like I say, I can get on my soapbox, but like when I watch the news and what's going on in the school system, and I'm not going to go down no political alley here, but uh, entrepreneurship is simply not taught anywhere. When you try to tell somebody about making money, they think you've lost your mind. You have to get a job. No, I didn't say you had to get a job. Well, there's no other way to make any money except get a job, you know? And if you can't get past that, you're lost right from the beginning. And, sometimes I even like when I was at Walmart, I asked this lady, "Would you like to be an entrepreneur?" Entrepreneur, what? I said, "Be an entrepreneur." What the Sam hell is that? Oh, well, here's my card. If you got time, I'll talk to you about it sometime. you know, um, and again, I like to make it fun because to me, if it's not fun, it's too much like a job. But if you can make it fun, then it's no longer a job. What was that old saying? If you do what you like
You do what you
and you
love,
really
do.
You know,
enjoy it, you'll be successful. And the money won't mean a damn thing. It'll just come. It'll just come to you.
you know,
And that's what. Go ahead, Mike.
when I was in Amway, I was for a long time and a lot of years ago. But one of the best tricks, and I'm gonna call it a trick, even though trick's probably not a good word for it, but best approach was to offer somebody something by taking it away. Don't come up
Hmm.
saying, "Look, you want to make some money." What I do is I would tell them, "I'm not real sure if you would qualify, but you look like the type of person that might be able to turn me on to four people to help me with expand my business." Uh,
Yep.
you know, and I would just want, even though I'm not sure if you qualify or not, I'm just sure. I'd just like to know if you know anybody. Let me tell you what I'm doing and what I'm looking for, so we can see if you know somebody. Like I said, I'm still not sure if you qualify. So,
Right.
I've taken it away a half a dozen times, and by that
Yep.
time, they jump all over me and they say, "Look, you got to tell me. I can do that. I can do."
Yep.
One of.
When I used to run ads for Express and Ameriplan,
Mm-hmm.
I always put in, they had to call for email me or call for an appointment
Well, yeah.
and then, be interviewed and to
Be
see if
interviewed.
they
Yep.
qualify. And I'll tell you, it works. It works.
Yeah. Be interviewed. Take it
So
away.
I'm not
Get
sure.
them to understand that
Uh,
this. You know, I use the word Mike partners. I'm looking for some partners in my business, and it seems to me people take that a little bit differently. That doesn't seem to be threatening because I'm in business. I'm in business for
I'm
myself,
not.
and I'm
I'm
looking
not
for
necessarily
partners.
looking for you, but I'm looking for some partners. Can you help me find a couple people that might qualify and can do what I do?
Hmm.
There you go.
But I'm not real sure that you could do it. But you know, we can talk.
We can talk.
We can talk. Let me tell you what I'm looking for, and then you tell me if you know somebody. Well,
Yeah.
I tell you when I first got into network marketing, very first thing I ever did in network marketing, I answered an ad in the newspaper. The fellow said that he was looking for some people, and I called him up, and he said, well, he didn't know if I qualified or not to do what they were doing. He did the same thing to me, and but that he was going to do a meeting at his house that night, and had a few people coming over to take a look at what he was doing, and I'd be welcome to come join and take a look too. Well, after about an hour and a half of sitting there and looking at him stumble around and draw pictures all over a whiteboard and describe something called MLM that I'd never heard of before in my life, but I realized he was using note cards in front of everybody, and I realized that he absolutely was bumbling through something that I could fly through. I could do, with my eyes shut and my hands tied behind my back. And I didn't start to even get successful at all at presenting that business plan until I learned to get up in front of people on a whiteboard, bumbling through it, and with note cards and drop the note cards and get them all out of order. And when I learned to do that, then I started getting results because
There you go.
everybody was having the same opinion that I had. If he can do that and make money, I know I can. You know, and it
Well, just
just
like real estate and insurance sales, the first thing that we learned when selling insurance was never leave the home without asking for referrals
oh yeah.
because that's your lifeblood. And I had my Amway distributor show me something that just blew me away. And he took it right off of his own experience. He said, I talked to one guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he wasn't interested. So I asked him, well, do you know anybody who might be? Well, he gave me three names.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through those three names. Didn't get anywhere. But I did get a couple of referrals. Two of them gave me one, and the other guy didn't give me none. So I went to the next two. And now those two, I got a few more. He said, in terms of what you might call levels, I went down 10 levels before I found some guy that said, well, hell, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, it turned out this guy was really interested, became his first direct distributor. Hell, he was making $3,000 or $4,000 a month just off that one person.
Yep.
But he had to go down. He had to keep getting referrals. And I think, uh, at least from my point of view, and the way I'm looking at it, a small town, I don't know a lot of people, but I have beginning to realize that I need to do that. So I say, okay, maybe you can't do that, but do you know anybody who can? You know, or do you know anybody that would be interested?
Don't
Or do you
argue
know
with them when
anybody
they
that would make a living? Huh?
don't argue with them when they say they can't do that. Say, I'm pretty sure you probably can't do that, but you might know somebody that could help me, that would be trainable, that I could probably teach.
Yep.
Could you give me a couple names? If you learn to do that, you'll never run out of somebody to talk to, and pretty soon you'll have everybody on all the Bahama Islands over there all sponsored. Uh,
Yep.
I think Rio went to sleep on us.
Nope, I reach you. I'm right here.
Oh man, yeah, y'all know
I keep
if
on
you
in my WhatsApp group.
y'all know if you get me started, and Sandy knows it more than anybody else. If you get me started, I'll talk all night. So,
No, I mean, honestly, Mike, I mean, okay, when it comes to MLM and businesses and network marketing, all that stuff, like I said, I mean, it plays on people's mind who don't have money. Basically, it's like, okay, well, how, like you said, how can I make money for that small investment or whatever?
that's
And
right.
then for those who have money, it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna invest my money into that, and then next thing you know, I got nothing. And also,
Hmm.
there's very few people far in between who says, you know what, I see the sense of this thing.
We're back down to that 1%.
Yeah, I can apply that. I can do that. Okay, and then you stumble into that. 99%.
Hmm.
You know, because finding that 1% is like looking for a four leaf clover.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, it's something that just popped in my mind, and I used it in that way. Something to always remember is that an objection is not an objection; it's an opportunity. If you get that in your head, objections won't get you down. Because, like Mike said, well, maybe you can't do that. Of course, sometimes I'll make a mistake and tell people, well, you're right. You can't do that because whatever you believe is right
Exactly.
for you.
That's right.
And some people don't like to hear that. So I try not to say that all the time
Oh, I
anymore.
would say it.
If you
You
believe you
know,
can, you can.
I
If you
I
believe you
would
can't,
tell
you're
them.
right
can't,
too.
can't. That's right. But objections per se, I learned this in Amway years ago, is an opportunity because
That's an
it's like,
opportunity. You're
yeah,
right.
it's like SA8. Uh, person said, well, I don't need that soap. I don't want that soap. It was straight up, flat out objection. And I said, an objection is nothing more than an opportunity.
Objection
Guess
is
what?
an is.
I end up telling her about LOC and how
Mhm.
well it would work to clean the walls and stuff. And all of a sudden, the objection was gone. She didn't want the soap, but she bought the LOC. So that's the advantage of understanding objection. And when
Object
we're
object
talking,
objections is an opportunity for you to continue dialogue. And as long as you continue in dialogue, you haven't walked off the field yet.
that's right.
You haven't lost.
Yep. And like, and
Do you
LOCs,
remember a diamond named Kay Fletcher?
Kate Fletcher, was she one of the singers in the group?
Well, she wasn't a she to start with. She was a he.
Oh, okay.
He was from New Orleans and very, very, very super successful. But
Hmm.
he made a statement one time. I was listening to him live in person, and he made a statement that he said the game is not over until you walk off the field.
That's
So
correct.
as long as you're still on the field and you're still talking, you still have a dialogue going. You're still got a chance of winning.
That's
So
right. And every mistake you make is like Edison. It's only a learning
you just learn
step.
another way not to do it.
That is correct. But it also a learning step that will step you up to what you need to learn how to do it
Mm,
correctly.
that's true.
Uh, and I like Einstein as well. You think, how could a person try to create a light bulb and do it over 1,000 times? When I first heard that, I thought to myself, I got past five, we'd be done. You know what I mean? But this man did it 1,000 times. He made 1,000 different experiments. He did it and did it and did it and did it and did it until he got it. And you know why? The same reason we're in this business is because you know it can be done. It ain't no different than that light bulb. We know it can be done. We just got to keep experimenting and experimenting until we get that light bulb to come on and say, we did it.
Yep, we've done it.
Yep.
Don't look so
And that's
serious.
why And that's why I've had people, multi-level marketing, oh, how sickening. And I said, I love it. Oh, you're crazy. Well, I love it anyway. So I don't mind being crazy. I love it. Why? Because it's free enterprise.
Rio's
For
over there
one,
looking serious at us, like
No, no, no.
we're crazy.
I was checking on something. I was checking on something.
Well, I know Mike's seen it, but have you seen the cartoon where the little guy is talking about his business and the girl keeps saying, "Sounds like a pyramid scheme. Sounds like a pyramid
Hmm.
scheme,"
Yep.
and it runs for maybe 2 minutes, and
yep,
at the end of the thing, he says, "I'd rather have my eyes poked out than have you as one of my business partners."
I like that.
It's a really good one.
Yeah, because that's what it boils down to. I'm looking for a partner. And if you want to be my partner, then I'm here to help. And of course, the other thing I always tell people is I'm here to help you, but don't forget, you may help me more than I help you.
Mhm.
You might not think so, but in the long run, you just might teach me more than I thought I knew.
That's possible.
Yeah.
I learn
And, you know,
I learn a lot more from others that I meet and know than I ever teach them. I'm sure,
yeah,
but I keep on teaching so I can keep learning.
that's absolutely correct. And I come from that old school. I like these young people that I talk to all the time, and I tell them, I flat tell them right to their face, I know everything. Well, then you're already dead. Because
Hmm.
the day you stop learning is the day you're dead. And I know a lot of people that are from 15 to 25 that are deader than a doornail
Mhm.
because you can't teach them nothing. They don't want to learn nothing. And that's what makes it fun. Even with my grandson, I said something to him last weekend. He looked at me and he says, "Wow, Grandpa, that makes sense." I said, "Really?" Patted him on the back. I'm glad to hear that. And left him alone. Get back to you later. I got you on my little pole over here.
Yep.
But yeah, it's fun. It's uh, it's fun to see the light bulb go on in someone else's face when they realize. And sometimes you can do it in one shot. Boom, the light goes on. Sometimes you can hammer it against the wall for 55,000 times, and finally it comes on. But when it goes on, it's exciting. It's just plain exciting.
That's true.
The light, yeah, the light went on. How cool is that?
You guys ever watch the anime, not the animation film Up?
No.
That sounds familiar.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's a animated movie with this guy. He married this young woman, and it was this particular mountain that they wanted to go to, or one mountain or valley or something, and they had this jar where they was dropping pennies in a dollar here, whatever, saving up to take this trip. And every time something would come up, they break the jar, and they start saving again. Something come up, they break the jar. All this time, they're getting older and older and older and older until it get to the point where the guy's wife died. So now he made up in his mind that, you know what? I'm gonna take this trip. So he took a bunch of balloons and tied it to his house, and his house started
Yeah,
floating.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. And but the thing about it is, that's a lot of people. They're gonna take their money, put it in the bank, and say, "Oh, I'm gonna save, I'm gonna save, I'm gonna save, oh, I'm gonna save, I'm gonna save," not taking into account of how much they would like to save by way of time. And if they look at calculating how much they can save in that amount of time, they would realize that it never happened. Never. Unless they are making a substantial amount of money, it will never happen. If they're saying, okay, you know what, I'm only 25 now, so by the time I retire at 65, I'm gonna have about 100 or half a million or $1 million, and they're making, let's just say, $400 a week. Okay, they're not taking into account of how much they would have to put aside to do that. What I've noticed with a lot of people is they say, "Oh, I'm making some money. I'm going to save my money for this," but they do not calculate or estimate how long they would have to save and how much they would have to save to accomplish that feat. You see, but
Yep.
if I have the opportunity to make a small investment, to have my own business that makes money for me on the side, along with what I'm making for my job, why not?
Why
You
not?
know, I mean, it's that simple. Okay,
Yeah.
right now, I'm averaging about, I think it's about, I think now I'm up to like probably $4 and something cents per day in my MPA right now, and that's money that I don't have to raise a finger for. All I gotta do now is just remember my
That's
security answer password so I can withdraw. But
Yeah.
But yeah, it's money that I do not have to raise a finger for.
That's true. That's my philosophy right now with the
Yeah,
Okay,
VA.
there's another
so
one that I can use that I approach every once in a while. It depends on whether I get the vibration, if I think it's the right thing to say, and sometimes it is. What would you rather do, Rio? Pay interest or earn interest?
Mhm.
and
And
that
you know
that
what? Sometimes that works because the person I'm talking to has got 15 credit cards. They're in debt up to their you
Oh,
know what, and they're spending $300, $400. They don't even know it until you sit down and show them three,
right.
four
'Cause
hundred dollars in interest every month, besides their payments. And you
yeah.
say, "Ouch!" Yeah. You say, "Wait a minute. What if you could be earning that interest instead of paying that interest?"
but you know what
Oh,
though? You know what though? It's mainly because it goes in increments. And usually when things happen in increments, it kind of blindsides you. You say, okay, well, you know what? Oh, well, hey, my credit card payment is $10 a month or whatever, so forth, and this and that. You're not looking at it and saying, oh, my credit card payment or whatever is $50,000 in the next 10 years.
Hmm.
Okay? That's $50,000. You mean if I was putting aside what my credit card payments were, I could have saved $50,000 in 10 years. How much
Mhm.
other things are you paying along that same line and principles that you are not taking into account?
absolutely.
Hey, hi Rex. And that's what's going on with a lot of people. They're doing a lot of things and saying a lot of things that they are not even taking into account of what it takes to obtain that or do that. So therefore, if they have a misconception or I guess not even that, just a plain ignorance as
Ignorance.
to what they are aspiring to do, not knowing that they will never get it done.
Yeah, and that's the reason you have to hang out the carrot to get them interested. Because until you can get them interested, sit down and talk to them. 'Cause like when I sold insurance, I found this to be so true. When you get the carrot and they're interested in this, there's something they want.
I got
Then
it.
you can go down that
You
rabbit
what
hole,
for
so
that?
to speak, and say, hey, do you realize that if you had not been paying this interest, you could bought a brand new Rolls Royce cash?
All right.
And they say, what? They get totally shocked. And a
Yes, ma'am.
lot of people, and it's our generation, I think, not mine or ours, so to speak, but the younger generation is the me society. I want it today.
I got it. Yeah.
And when they want it
Is it
today,
done?
what they do is they go out and
I don't
buy it,
know what's in home yet.
put it on credit, and if they can afford $20 or $400, my daughter spends $400 on her car. Well, if you were smart and you could tighten up that belt and put that $400 in the bank and not into the payment, hell,
Mm.
2.5, 3 years, you could buy that car brand new, cash,
Every year. I mean,
every year,
yeah, just over and over.
over and over again. And
Hey,
most people just don't seem to understand. They don't understand this concept of interest, and they don't realize that they're being sucked dry.
let
And
me
they
tell you.
wonder, you know, uh, well, my daughter, I don't know how much he makes, but he's got to be somewhere up to around 100 to 120,000 a year, and they're broke.
Yep.
Okay, but they're in debt. They're paying on three cars. They're paying on this. They're paying on that. I keep, like Mike said, I've told them what 50 times, and one day my daughter says to me privately, "Dad, this is not working." And so I just said back to her, I said, "Have you listened to anything I've said in the last 10 or 15 years?" "Yeah, I have." "Well, what do you think about what I've told you in the last 10 or 15 years?" "Well, gee, Dad, I hate to admit this. You know how
But I should
daughters
have
are, right?
listened to you.
But I think you might be right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you do what you want to do because
Mm.
now you know what's right and now you know what's wrong.
Write that one down in a book, Robert, somewhere. Write it down in a book. You might not hear that very often.
You want me to show you the book I wrote it down in? But now the secret is the light has gone on. And once the light goes on, then you can work with it because now, after 15, 20 years, she suddenly says, well, what do you think I should do with this, Dad? And I'll say, well, there's because I always give her more than one option because when it comes to kids, you don't say, this is what you need to do. That don't work. Well, you could do this, or you could do that over here, or you could do this. You decide which one you think is the best. And it works. Sometimes she won't pick exactly the one I would have, but she'll still pick one that was better than what she was doing. It's like I said, it's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Before we
Robert,
get off, can somebody tell me something about Starry and why do they keep pushing that?
because it is, I mean,
It's
stop and
there.
look at it is a residual income stream. Pure and simple. That's the only reason it's there in your product line is it is a residual income stream. And
It is.
if you go put the numbers to it, yeah, it's a real big income stream. A monthly income over and over and over, not just a single one time, commission that's here and gone, but it is a monthly residual income stream, just like the newsletter is a monthly residual income stream. And that's the primary reason. Now, it is a very good product. It's a product that teaches marketing
Yeah,
on
Star is very good.
online marketing. It's a good product. You can't you can't have a residual product like that unless the product is good. You can't just offer somebody, used bubble gum or something like that. Uh, if I charged you the same money for used bubble gum and paid you the same commission, you'd make the same amount of money. Except who's going to buy used bubble gum? So you have to have a good product. It is a good product uh, that has a value that is worth the money being charged for it, but it produces an income stream that is residual over and over, and that is much more important than the instant commissions on the seller books. The instant commissions are one time.
Yeah, but
They're
now I have
they're they're here and gone, but the Star and the newsletter both are residual income streams that will provide money over and over again, and you use it through a matrix type network. It produces a lot of money for a little effort. Nobody has to produce a lot. You have to make you have to make one sale. You make one sale, and that person makes one sale, and then and pretty soon you're getting a little bit off each one of them. I think what, $1, $2, something like that off each one, and that $2, added up over 16,000 times for the newsletter. That adds up to 50 something $1,000 a month income. And what
but I
do
have a question.
yes,
Okay. We have concentrated what 98% of our efforts towards advertising and talking to people about Four Corners.
hmm
Can we somehow uh, set up like a banner or something that would be for just Starian and
yeah,
just for
absolutely. In fact,
and
if
have it go, what they call that loop, back end and front end. Starian is the front end, but you still have Four Corners as the back end.
yeah,
Or
absolutely you can. You can sell just the story, and you can sell just the newsletter through your retail store. that you have in your back office for your four corners.
Yeah.
You can just
But
market those straight,
but
but
would that automatically hook them up to four corners?
no, it doesn't have to. It does not have to. But it is beneficial not only to you, but also beneficial to your customer to tie them into four corners instead of saying, "Look, here's the products, here's the books you can buy. You can buy this 2 book set, number one set, and you can buy it for $18 or $10 or whatever the retail price on it is. It's $10, I think. Uh, but for $18, I can put you into this program. Chuck likes to call it uh, same thing he had with the hot dog stands and stuff like that. Franchise. He likes to
Franchise.
call it a franchise. He said for an extra $8, I can get you a franchise where you can share this same product, this same educational product with a few of your friends, and you can make a little bit of extra money on that, and more than enough to pay for what you pay for the product to start with. Uh,
Right.
so the
So
product becomes free for you. You know, we ain't teaching them. I ain't right now. I'm not teaching them. Hey, you can make money on it. What I'm saying is you can get a franchise for just adding that extra $8 in there. You can have a franchise to be able to sell these books, and you sell these books to your people, your friends, your relatives, your enemies, anybody you think that needs to learn more about financial literacy, financial education.
Hey,
And yes, go ahead.
sorry, I mean not to cut you off, not to cut you off. Sorry,
No, go ahead. I
but
need it every now and then.
here's what I learned. Right, most people wants to be an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they want to own their own business.
Mm-hmm.
But most people want to get into the business of their dreams. Very few entrepreneurs are interested in using a stepping stone to get to where they want to go, or their stepping stone is their job. Okay, I'm going to work this job and save the 50 grand that I need to start my job. But then you have kids, you have rent, you have mortgage, you have car notes, you have grocery,
You have life.
you have right, okay. And what you're not looking at is, okay, how much do I make a month? Okay, how what can I put aside and still handle my responsibilities with? Okay, so I'm making $1,500 a month. Okay, all right. My expenditures out of that 1,500 comes up to monthly comes up to 1,200. So now here it is, you minus in 1,200 from your 1,500, you're down to $300.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you may say I can put aside $300 per month. So you times that 300 by 12, there's only 12 months in a year, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you are 3,600 per year. Okay. Now what you do is you take the 36 and you say, okay, you know what? I want to save 50 grand. So I'm gonna take 50 grand. I'm gonna divide that by 3,600. That means it's gonna take me 13 years to save the 50 grand I need to start my business. But that's at the cost of living today.
Mm-hmm.
In 13 years, the cost of living is going to be higher, which means you will be able to save less. But I guarantee you, the chance you getting a raise in that 13 years to match what you were saving prior would not be. So you would find yourself trying to save for to open this business and never be able to do it. Okay? But you can say, you know what? I'm gonna take $200 per month. I'm gonna invest it into my network marketing business. And you'd be surprised of what you would make in 5 years
Yep.
off your business. You see?
If you do it, if you apply, if you,
Yeah, if you
if.
yeah. You
There's
see,
a lot of big ifs,
yeah, it's a lot of big ifs, but what I'm saying is what
but
I'm
the ifs are more realistic.
right, but what I'm saying is people do not accomplish the things that they say they want to because they don't take into consideration what it takes to make it happen.
A job was, and none of them, job was not intended to
You didn't take it down to
get you where
have
you
them
want
do
to
it?
do. A job was never intended to set you free. If you got
Yep.
a BOSS, I guess I got two S's in there. If you got a BOSS, he is going to hire you on that job, but he does not want you to become independent and free
Yeah.
Hey,
from that
listen.
job, because if you do, then he's got to start all over again with somebody else.
Well, good. Then I
Some,
have
but some,
some
but
good
some,
news
So
for
some
you.
his
bosses want that because
some
I
do.
must
Yeah,
go wait. I
I'm
still have some of that
not
soup
lumping
you like.
everybody under one group there, but
yeah,
in general, a boss does not want you to
Uh-huh.
succeed and go away.
Mm-hmm.
no,
Because
That
that
and spiced
actually winds up
apples.
hurting him. And his investment is in you and training you and teaching you to do a job, but
Mm-hmm.
only he only wants you to do that job to the point that it keeps you happy and satisfied enough
Yeah.
to stay there, and not to the point that you become successful enough to leave. So you're not ever going to be free with a job typically. Now some people
That's
do
good.
break free, some people
Ouch.
do, but this country,
We need
I
to do
can't speak for
something
the
about that.
Bahamas. I can't speak
It's
for the
getting
Bahamas, but
worse.
this country
Your
was
cough.
founded on small, independent
Most
business
certainly is.
people working for themselves.
You
This
coughed three
country
or
is
four times now.
That's what made this country strong. It's what made this country big. Yeah, I know we got big industry. We got big industry, but
I'm
there are
not
more
coughing.
people working in mom and pop grocery stores. There are more people that own the store themselves,
Oh,
and hardware stores, and there
there.
are
I'm drinking.
people that own farms and stuff like that. They work for themselves. And that's what we're offering people. And a lot of people
It
say,
was
"Well,
good.
I don't have a couple $1 million to go out there and buy enough land to start a farm." So what we're offering people is the
Oh,
opportunity to own their own
I have to
franchise,
take a
own
bath
their
tomorrow.
own
All my
business,
towels are
work
dirty.
for
I have to
themselves
go use some
and
out of my
not a
closet.
boss. And it's only going to cost them $18 to get started. you know, sure, you're going to have to
Because I
invest some
can't
money.
keep
You're going to have to
washing and
turn
let them sit in the
profits back over.
thing waiting
Every
to be
business that
dry.
you own, any business
I
that you
gotta
own, you got to
wait.
take the profits and turn them back over to the business to make it grow. You got to do the same thing with Four
Because
Corners
we had to
or
wash dry
MPA or
yours.
anything. That's what we're doing with MPA right now. That's what we started this whole conversation off, this whole tonight off,
We
was
weren't
we're
here the whole
turning
time.
money that we are earning
We
back
kind of,
over and reinvesting it in
no, they
our
finally
own
got out.
business,
But when we
so
left,
that
we put them on
we
dry
can
80
gain
minutes.
enough money
And
to turn it
we
back
went
over
out
into,
to the
to
post
eventually
office,
we're
and
going to get enough
then we
money
went
that we
Christmas
draw out
shopping.
some that we
Then we
start to
went and
live
got
on, and
lunch.
eventually that money we
And
draw
then we
out
got back,
gets to
and
be
they were
money
still
that
not
is
dry.
enough to
So we
buy
dried
our
them
gold and
again.
our
Then
dream.
we got to change our
I
loads.
told y'all I get to preaching if
And
you
we
let me
didn't get
go.
home till
You got to stop me.
Yeah,
5:30.
go
no,
for it.
no.
I love it.
See,
Yeah,
see,
because
and go ahead, Robert. Go ahead, Robert. Go ahead.
yeah,
Right.
because
Four hours ago, we had to
exactly
turn it back
following what he's
on to
saying.
dry.
You
So
learn
then we
different
just
things
got
as you go
through
through life.
doing another
And
load. But he had a meeting from
if you're going
8
to have a
to
business,
9.
a business friend of
He's
mine,
still on the
you know,
meeting. This
three,
is
four, I have no
Tuesday.
idea how many millions he was worth, but he was, he wasn't poor.
Right?
But the one thing he
I
told me
fold
that I never forgot
and,
was
fold and
pretty
put,
simple. You buy a
separate.
business,
He does the
he said
laundry.
they don't care if it's $1,000.
I can't do
Put
it after 6.
$900 into the business, and you keep
Can't hear
I
you,
can't do
Robert.
that step.
we're
If we
getting an
had
echo,
stayed
I think.
home, I could have done the laundry. We
That's
didn't.
something going on there where Rio is. I don't know what it is.
Are you home?
Yeah. Hold
Okay,
on, my
bye.
phone's ringing. I'll be right back.
Well, it's left with me and you, Sandy. Did I answer your question a while ago?
No.
Did anybody answer your question?
Yeah, I wanted to tell Rio, you go through several businesses like we've all been through, where you lose that $45 a month investment, or you lose that 25 or $10 a month investment,
Mm-hmm.
and you feel like, do I really want to do this again? I've been in network marketing now for 8, 9, 10 years, and worked hard at most of the stuff and didn't really quit. It kind of quit on me. So,
Yeah, I understand.
you lose that investment that you worked hard to build up and to put in every month, and it gets harder and harder to believe that making that big investment every month is really worth it.
You're right.
Let me
I
show
think
you
you get
something.
paranoid.
Let me show you something, Sandy, Miss Armstrong. Let me tell you something, okay? Here's what most people fail to realize. Life itself is an investment. Life itself, your everyday living is an investment. You buy food. What are you investing in? You're investing in nutrients and nutrition to keep your body going. You buy a car. What are you investing in? You're investing in something to get you from point A to point B. You buy a hair product. You invest in something to keep your hair looking right. Brushing your teeth is an investment. Buying some shoes is an investment. Putting a shirt on your back is an investment. You're investing every day. But we have no problem investing in things that is going to generate not an ounce of income back in your pocket. But here it is now you have the opportunity to invest in something that can make some money for you, but you find a problem with it. I invested in this bear. Why? Because I'm counting on this bear to give me a little good feeling for my birthday tomorrow. Okay?
You gonna sit over on this
You're
side
right.
and
Right?
help me?
You're right.
You know, everything you do is an
What?
investment. You
You
may
gonna sit
not
back
look
there
at
on
it
the
that way,
couch?
but
No.
everything is
You sure?
investment.
I
Why?
don't yield.
Because
I don't
everything you
mind.
spend
You in
money
the back
on,
then.
you are looking to gain something from it.
You're gaining something from it. Yeah.
Okay? All right. So whether it's
Sometimes we gain experience rather than what we're really hoping to gain. But
Sorry.
experience breeds knowledge. Knowledge breeds power. You know what I mean? Okay. If you can, especially if you can apply those stuff. You know, but you have
that's
people
true.
that go through life and hardly learn anything, and some you have people who will learn stuff and never apply it.
Never apply it. You're
Okay,
right.
one of the things, but what you said a while ago when it came to the whole job thing, I just received when you talking about bosses and all, I received a message from a friend, and what it said is, I can remember the quote exactly. If you do not go out and build your dreams, someone will hire you to
To
build
build
theirs.
theirs.
Jim Rohn.
You're right.
Jim Rohn.
Jim Rowan, you're right.
Yep. It's one of my favorite quotes.
Okay? And you have people that are comfortable. I mean, sitting in a warm massage love seat, lazy boy kickback sofa, and they have no problem helping other people build their dreams.
Mm.
While they're still there sinking in the damn mud and so forth and everything and blah 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 blah. It's ridiculous.
No, I'm a businesswoman, and we have our own business, and I know the importance of putting your profits back into your business to build a business. But I'm just saying that it's really hard for people who have been bitten to believe. Let me just put it that way, to believe that putting in 25, 35, whatever it is a month is going to ultimately make them money. I have a hard time.
How long does it take? 1:30.
It's not putting in the money that makes the.
That's just me.
Okay, that doesn't make the money.
It's the work that goes
No.
along with it.
What
I was actually
what
not
I
trying
said it's the
to.
work that goes along with it.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Ah!
And all of
Oh
the other
no!
things that the
I'm
money
scared,
fuels.
Nanny.
But but if you pull up to a gas station with $100 in your pocket and the gas station tank is empty, you can pay for the gas, but it's not there, right?
Hmm.
Right.
So your car wouldn't go anywhere, right?
Right.
So you can invest the money into a business, but if the fuel that pushes that business along is not in place, no matter how much money you pump, nothing's going to come back from it.
Right. And that's
So
why it
you,
gets back.
So right now, for Four Corners, $18 is the money to buy the fuel.
You're right.
But if the people are not coming in, which are the fuel,
Mm.
We got to put the fuel in the car, and then you have
it's,
to
it's,
turn
it's,
the
it's
ignition to
as,
start the motor, which creates the work, which creates the power to move you forward to reach your goal and success.
right. As a matter of fact, it's so funny. The people do not even have to join Four Corners. If people were just interested in buying the products, nobody has to join Four
Hmm.
Corners.
You're right.
Technically. So imagine getting a university or several universities or some high schools or whatever interested in Four Corners products. Okay, Four Corners. I don't know. You might set up some special something where if kids, if the school buy it, you donate X amount of iPads or tablets or whatever, so the kids can download it and learn it and so forth. Whatever it is. But nonetheless, it still does what it's supposed to do,
Hmm.
because some of the stuff the content that I read in Four Corners, I don't know about American school system, but I know in our school system, I would never know it.
Wouldn't know it. Wouldn't know it here either.
I would never know it.
It's no different.
Yeah, I was telling Mike I did a page basically for the products, the books,
Hmm.
and it's Robert Kiyosaki and one of his quotes about, we don't educate our children to understand finances. I mean, it just doesn't happen in school.
Nope.
And to sell these books, it makes sense. I'll send you the link. I think it's a great page. I don't know how to promote it. It's just sitting there. And it just seemed to me that this would be something that would catch somebody's eye because it's so true. I didn't learn how to manage my finances, and I had a good education. I never learned that. I know my granddaughter hasn't learned that
What
with all the
what what
work.
what they teach you in school? They teach you how get just enough knowledge so that you can go out and get a job.
Right.
Yeah.
Or get just enough knowledge so you can go from grammar school to high school, and just enough knowledge in high school that you can go to college and spend more money than you're probably ever going to earn back
Hmm.
to get just enough knowledge so that you can go out and get a JLB. I give you a prime example. My youngest daughter, spent 7 years getting a college degree, and that enabled her to get a job cooking at Waffle House.
Oh,
Waffle
no.
House is a little small diner.
Right.
Oh,
Well, I know
yeah.
Waffle Houses.
Yeah. Well, that gave her a job to, enough knowledge to get a job working at Waffle House. She's since moved on from there. She's gradually improving herself in her life, and I can see a definite upward swing there. But that's what 7 years of college education
Hmm.
got her, was enough to get a job. They don't want you to succeed. They want you to, because we got to have people with jobs. We got to have those workers. We got to have our people moving the trash. We've got to have, the utility workers. We've got to have, people out directing traffic, or we've got to have the people working in the grocery stores. But that's not necessarily everybody, and that's not necessarily a path to what my definition of success is.
Right.
And
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 that's
and the,
and Sandy said something there about this uh, video that you're referring to. I think it was a video, right?
The web page.
Web page. Okay.
Yeah.
Webpage.
Uh, that gets back to the carrot and the hook. Uh, I really believe that we need to, for example, like the books, we need to, how shall I say, I hate to use the word sell, but sell education, not the opportunity. Because if we could sell the education, in other words, are you just off the top of my head, for example, you're tired, you're fed up, you're going nowhere. Wouldn't you like to learn how to change that and then go into, say, the first couple books or whatever, with the
Well,
idea that you can change that? Because I know the one thing that like so many people are in debt with credit cards and all this stuff. And the reason for that is something that I learned years and years ago. Was I had a salesman, God, I think it was selling insurance. It was a multi-level insurance, and I can't think of the name of the company right now, but it was big. And he said people love to buy. Well, when you think of all the
they don't
credit
like to
cards,
be sold.
right? They love to buy, and that explains why everybody's in credit card debt and everything. They love to buy, but they don't like to be sold. Well, now how does somebody buy something? Well, they buy what they want. So the key is to find out what it is they want.
Mhm.
Okay, what do you want? You
Yeah.
know, kind of reminds me when I went looking at a house one time, and I thought this particular real estate person had to have been excellento, because the whole time we were there, he was always telling me, well, what would you like to do with the backyard? What would you like to do with the bedroom? What would you like to do with the garage? Would you like to change it? He was constantly throwing it on me. Well, before I know it, here I am daydreaming about what I could do with a garage. How could I? Next thing I know, I'm thinking, I'm hooked, right?
Hmm.
And it's the same idea. We need that. And since we're talking business here, I can use the word hook. We need that hook that's going to get them interested. Forget the $18. They all got $18 because they love to buy, but they don't want to buy what we're selling.
They
So
all
they,
got 18 because they're going to go out and buy that pizza tonight when you leave.
that's right. So they
Mike,
got they got the $18. So what
Mike and I
we need
talked
is,
about this. You know,
huh?
people want, Mike and I talked about this a while back. You really have to have a product. You know,
Absolutely.
that was the trouble with Skyfork. It was too yeah, I don't know. You
They had a
couldn't
product,
just
but it was too hard for people to understand and see it
exactly
because it wasn't a product they could hold in their hand.
Right.
exactly. I mean,
Right.
they were great tools. It's a great business, but people didn't understand what does that mean, tools. You had to go through this whole explanation of what they could do with it.
Hmm.
So, you know, people want a product.
So it's the same thing with Four Corners.
So I think
We
maybe they're
have
approaching this. Yeah,
we have the product,
yeah.
but when I look and watch all, because I do a lot of traffic exchanges and everything else that in my emails, I notice that they're always selling Four Corners only $18, only $18. Would you believe I get tired of hearing it's only $18? I mean, I already know it, but don't you get tired of hearing that? I would rather see, hey, we got the best educational system in the world if you want to become free of the JOB, right?
Well, I'm going to send you guys the link and let you try to see what I can do with this website. I mean, we can all use it. It's not mine
Sure.
alone, but
Yeah,
just so maybe we could unravel it to make it work.
yeah, and
Grab the question.
that's why I depended on Chuck, because when it comes to computers, uh, I've had many sites over the last few years that they can tell you how to put up a website. I can't do that. I'm just not analytical in that respect. Okay. I'm a salesman, not a
Mhm.
computer genius. So, you asked me a question about the computer. I got to go ask somebody else because 99% of the time I'm lost. I have no clue. So I need to go to somebody like Chuck or even Mike, because I know Mike's pretty good at that stuff as well.
Mike,
I got to go to somebody and say, look, this is what I got. This is my idea. How can I throw this shit together and make it work? Give me a
mhm.
site that's going to say, would you like to really learn or get the education, or I don't even know how to really word it, but I know up here what these people need. Now, and forget the $18, because if they like what they see, it's like when I first got on Four Corners on my IBO site. I
Hmm.
literally advertised all the way down to $600. So somebody comes in, they said, "Hey, I can get all this education for 600. Did I expect anybody to buy it? No, but I thought, hey, it only takes one,
Mm,
Yeah.
right?" And so I just advertised them all and never said a thing about $18.
mm,
Because why? Because the price of the courses were all listed right down the line. Now, because the way it was done, if you bought the course, you automatically signed up for Four Corners.
mhm,
See?
Hmm.
So it's the hook. It's the ideology of getting across to people. Would you, one is education. The other one is, would you really like to get out of debt?
Yeah,
That,
I don't want to. I want to see how much debt I can get into.
yeah, that's no joke. So many people do
yeah,
I'm,
do think
I'm,
yeah,
that.
I know.
I'm gonna go out and get me a job and, you know, work for a boss because I know this boss is gonna show me how to get out of debt.
Yeah,
There's,
right.
there's a funny thing. There's a funny thing down here, right?
Yeah.
There's a funny thing down here in the Bahamas. I don't know how much of it goes on in America, but here in the Bahamas, it's a cultural belief that when you get a job, the first thing you're supposed to do is go out to the bank, get a loan for a brand new car,
Mm,
and
Brand new
you,
car and a big
yeah,
house and
no. See, first of all, you're still at home with your parents,
oh yeah,
okay, or you're
I
out
got
of
some of
your
them.
parents' house, but you're paying rent,
Hmm.
okay, and your goal in life is to get a brand new car of that year that is going to run you to some 50 plus thousand dollars that you're
mm,
paying the bank for now, right? Because you don't own it, you're paying the bank for it.
Hmm.
Then tomorrow, some shit kicks and you lose your job.
Hmm.
You still owe the bank 60
the
grand.
car payment. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I always say to myself, if I were to go to the bank for a vehicle exceeding 10 grand, I am going to get a piece of property and a car for 10 grand. And I can do
Yeah.
that here. I can do that here in the Bahamas. I can get a piece of
Yeah.
property, a nice piece of
Yep.
property, for $7,000 and a used car for 3,000.
Yep.
I can get a used car for 1,500. You know, but it just baffles me of the mindset of some people and the way they put themselves in debt.
It's
I can
not.
understand. No, don't get me wrong. I can understand you putting yourself in debt if you were trying to start a business or something that will generate some kind of income. But here it is, you're basically flushing your money down the toilet on some shit that has no chance of bringing you back any form of income in no shape or form. You're
Mm,
just going to keep paying for that sucker out your ass. And it's like people are fine with that.
You don't have a corner on that market there in the Bahamas. It's the same here. It's I'm pretty sure it's probably the same no matter where you go. Uh,
it's
it,
our
people,
culture.
yeah, exactly. It is.
Yeah.
Uh,
It kind of reminds me of the alcoholic. I had somebody tell me once, some people will take the elevator all the way to the basement and lose their house, their car, their wife, their children, and everything. But every now and then, somebody will get on that elevator and start realizing that on the fourth or fifth floor, they're on the wrong elevator and going in the wrong direction, and they'll get off the elevator. And that again gets back to education. There's there's 100 million people out there that are dying because they can't even afford to get out the front door because they're broke the minute they get their paycheck. And they would
yep.
love to change, but
Yep.
they simply don't know how. And that's the reason I brought up debt because uh, I don't know if I mentioned this last time or not, but I'm talking about this minister who decided he was going to help the people in his parish get out of debt. Now, how did he do that? Well, he had accumulated, let's say, like you said, Rio, he had $50,000 sitting over here doing nothing, but he believed in his people. So he come in there, and the guy said, well, I'm $10,000 in debt, and then this and that, and it's costing me a fortune. And the preacher would say, all right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll pay that $10,000. I will pay that debt off. But one, you will be church every Sunday. Two, you will work in the church, mowing the yard or doing whatever, just doing little things to help. And the first thing after you get started is that you're going to learn how to put some money away for a business, to save for a future, whatever it is. But I'm going to teach you never go in debt and pay interest again as long as you live. And by God,
Uh,
that worked for many people.
I don't know if y'all having trouble here or not, but I'm losing internet signal or something. So I'm gonna go ahead and bow out of here. I've enjoyed this tonight. We've all learned something, I hope. And
Yeah, we're running way late, aren't we?
yep, and I have recorded it, so I will try to put it up where people can find it and watch it. Anyway, I've enjoyed it. I'll talk to y'all later. But
Yeah,
I'm
I think
I'm
I'm
gonna,
going to get out of here too. How
Yeah.
about you, Sandy?
yeah, it's
Okay.
past your supper time, isn't it?
It's way
Yeah,
late.
I done went right over it. I'm going to be shot.
Oh dear. Well, good night, everybody. God
All right.
bless you.
Good night.
Good night.
We'll
All
look
right, good
forward to
night.
Good
seeing
night.
y'all again.
Good night, Rio. Good night, Michael.
Yeah. Good night. Good night.